This is the third part of Kintsugi Walnut, and this is the section called The Crack Nut, and I'm reading it here. So, The Crack Nut, 2005. I skipped out of Bristol with a car full of clothes and bedding and food. Mom knew I would miss her, and I felt like this was my final goodbye. I knew I would be returning, but something in the largeness of the change and lifestyle seemed final to me. I drove to Appalachia, 362 Henry Street to be exact, with the sureness of someone who'd been here a million times. I hugged my housemaid at the door, although I'd never seen nor met Lyric before. Faith is not fear of punishment. Faith is not fear of eternity. Faith is rejoicing eternity. I care about faith, and I fill myself with hope. And here I am exactly where I have wanted, the place where I dreamed of. Inside the house is rustic. The couches could possibly benefit from having covers. The water is turned off. The bed is a mattress on the floor. But there is a garden in the backyard, and pooping in the bucket is just all right with me. My roommate is named Lyric. Her voice is lyric. She is friendly and young and mature. Her hair is seldom washed, but of such pretty golden red color. Even her beagle, Johnny Cakes, is well mannered and loving. Love is the thing that allows us to live here for $35 per month. Love and hard work. Love sends miners striking, love for their families. Love sends environmentalists striking, love for their mountains. Greed is what fuels the mountaintop removal. The coal truck passed my house from morning until work is over for the day. They go up Henry Street empty and plummet down Henry Street like box turtles on skateboards with pounds of good earth on their backs. I walk downtown in Appalachia and I'm saddened. The rocks called coal are being dug and surrendered must have to from the mountain must have to do with the rundown nature of this town. The town is split between rich and poor. On one side of Main Street, you can drive or walk through the more gentrified area. This side of town makes me wonder where the money came from, since it is not represented on Main Street. Perhaps the money comes from King Coal. I guess King Coal consists of those who harvested the coal from the mountain. The big corporations that I am not completely familiar with yet reap the benefits of mountain exploitation. Being here makes me feel strong. Part of it is the strength I know that resistance is my Appalachian history. Part of it is knowing I am risking something by being here, and I am okay with that. I am risking my health by being in this city town, sleeping so close to where the rocks tumble down, kills people, and I'm hoping me protesting like a pain in the ass. It makes me feel strong not to be okay with the greedy people and the greedy corporations from afar are doing here. That, I guess, is Appalachia in a nutshell. Now let me break it open. A Quaker's first homicidal ideations. I apologize if this sounds disappointing, but I am really angry and shaky and fragile. I saw my first strip mining site. We trespassed up there. I was not prepared. How could I be prepared for something I love, hidden behind the ridges, away from civilization, logged, slashed, burned, demolished, killed, and then shot in the head a million times? My philosophy about the world is becoming corroded, not by thoughts of violent acts, but by thoughts I sure would do anything possible to protect me. Before I thought I was so smart, I could talk the world out of raping me, my children, my mountain. I am not ashamed of being fragile. I am not afraid of fighting, but I certainly feel sad, shaky. World peace is fine, but it is a long way off. Pacifism would be fine if everyone was a pacifist, but one angry oppressor can ruin it all. I live in on the street for a month, turning on the light switch, typing on my computer with little hesitation. Then today I rode my car with a bunch of anarchists to the top of the same street. Now my image of the world keeps being split open. What is it about me? How is it that I can live naive in a world for 24 years and not get assaulted, not get raped, not even realize that the electricity is aiding and abetting to an oppressive world? How could I breathe that stifling false air for so long until my blue blood burst and my heart broke and my white lungs collapsed with agony and depression? Perhaps this is 50% of the people in the US are on antidepressants. Perhaps they are aware and heartbroken. I am generally too happy of a person. At least this will give me some emotional perspective. I want to fully experience this feeling of violation and corporate disenfranchisement. I know that love is a powerful force. I know I found a kitten 1 minute and a half from death's door. I gave her love. I gave her food and water and love, and she perked up. A year later, she was a Mancoon cat, plucky, with such grace and pride. Her name by then was Appalachia. I am not hopeless. I could strangle someone, but I still have the renewable energy that keeps me plugging along. But I will be damned if I sit back and watch this injustice corrode as injustice corrodes the world and apathetic people go shopping at the mall, driven by big cars, forgetting all that is meaningful. How do you confront an ignoramus, messed up world that is messed up in so many ways that it stretches my vocabulary to long words like ignoramus and shorter four-letter words? I am teaching myself this summer one very important lesson. It is okay to be angry. If you have never been angry, you are lucky and privileged, but a bit naive. Self-defense is necessary. My mountains are part of me. The mountains are part of me. It is a heinous crime to pillage a mountain. I saw mountaintop removal. It made me want to kill someone, ruining my usual Quaker Sunday. I am fragile, but the world is broken. Love is violence surrendered. Anger is normal, so love is violence surrendered. Love is holding a gun and choosing the flower. Love takes more effort. Love is not following the doctrine of Jesus or MLK or Gandhi, but peace and love are effective forces for social change. It took me about 5 hours to be angry, ready for violence, before I found an advocate in peace. Never mind retaliation. Never mind. Peace is the way. I see the strip mine. I see Henry Street, a road on which I lived for a month, never exploring to see that gutted mountain that lay denuded and raped. Anger is precious and should be felt to its deepest, but we should not live in anger. MTR is not only thing to oppose, to work against. We should work against all injustices. Anger is a stepping stone. May I sow seeds of peace to reclaim this mountain, knowing that some will pass, but that the prolonged effort of resistance, persistent love, is stronger than any act of violence. Just as mountaintop removal drained my soul, talking to an advocate for peace refreshed me. I am sad, depressed, crying, a bit angry. When people kill mountains, really, they kill God. The spirit, they kill beauty. Killing is not going to help the cause. Killing more stoops to their level. It sounds damn Quaker and pacifist and all these things I cursed earlier today, but even Christian. But I don't believe the only way to reclaim the mountain and not break your own rules and humanity is to reclaim the mountain with your peace, love, and sure with civil disobedience, but never, never with hate or violence. And the pendulum swings back into place. So when you feel angry, perhaps ask your advocate, what is love again? And they will reclaim your heart and your soul and your hope, which is extinguished in anger but burns gently in the flame of your soul. Coal. As I write this, the coal car is pulling coal from the mountain behind me. I know it is a complex issue, but I know that when the mountain is gone, it is gone. Our house is simply rustic. It is in the ghetto part of town and it suits me fine. Composting toilet is just a bucket to squat over, but it works fine. Making a conscious choice to shut off water, knowing that you have a cold winter ahead of you, that takes bravery. That is the type of 18-year-old mature woman my roommate is. Her only vice I can think of is that she smokes, but she does it outside and is respectful. We gardened all day and now I'm starved. Rain is a perfect season. Rain is a perfect season to plant seeds. When the skies flooded the earth, we stood strong out of doors, where we could watch the birds swoop for worms. Our parents seemed to hibernate in a different world completely if they lived through us, warm, rain-drenched, soggy-haired creatures that did not show. We were immune to thunder. We repelled lightning. Mom and Daddy would stand out on the porch, barely braving the roof, shouting, "Come in if the lightning gets too close." Our neighbors thought they were cop-out parents. We were glad for it. We took 5-gallon buckets, filled them with gutter water, and dumped them on our heads. We smelled our small southern city, clean as the water washed off the cars, the industrial grime, and our own boredom, all of which accumulated on roofs, ran into the drain pipes and journeyed to the gutter, where we would race sticks to the bottom of the hill. After the sticks circled around over the drain, and the gushing water pulled them down into the underworld. After that, neither me nor my siblings could guess where our rain day stream must go. Rain soldier. At 4 a.m. I am awakened by the sound of a marching soldier. Horrified, I assume it has come to some Third Reich at home. It takes me minutes to realize that sound is the rain dripping steadily from a gutter. Appalachian rainforest. Today the south drips like a rainforest, like a tropical rainforest. The water kinks up hair like roots of a vine tree. Our squirrels, with no written doctrine to conserve the land, dig holes and plant acorns. People can only imagine why. So that we do not curse our benefactors in a world where life depends on rain, let the rain drip, if only to moisten the earth, so more life can grow. Peace and role play for Clara of Silo. Somewhere in a field of feral strawberries, a scene of 8 5-year-olds opens. In moments, young testosterone ignites the group. As if to give perspective, a girl enters the scene. She darts into the erupting fight like a prophet child come to sing the devil into a long sleep. She plucks a white straw flower from the 3-leafed plant, halts in the center of the battlefield, and holds her flower in the air. Earth Mama's defense. Don't think twice because I'm taller and stronger as I plow through the field with the power of a woman, digging potatoes for my 7 children. If the rain doesn't come, let tell me my feet are clods of don't tell me my feet are clods of mud. If it rains, don't tell me my feet are clods of mud. Don't you think I know that? Don't you think I like the feeling of earth? A woman as strong as me can take anything. Mountaintop removal. On a rickety front porch of a 100-year-old house, I sit proud of my heritage. These mountains are not short because they are naive. They are short and old and wise. Coal divides the rich and the poor in an equation of greed. Coal sends poverty moving through our region where it is mined. If people live at all, nothing is as ugly as a dead mountain. In Appalachia, the culture is rich in the city, in the country, in the hearts and souls of the nation somehow remain on these moist coves and ridges. But Appalachian people are conflicted. We want to eat, but the company prices our land. It seems the only way to survive is sell out or move away. Appalachia was here long before you turned on that light. Appalachia was here long before you paid the electric bill. God will not damn you for killing me, my heart, my land. You are the one who turned my sacrifice, sacred land, into hell on earth. In my mountain, there have been many favorite places to watch the seasons. I will welcome you onto my porch, invite you in for beans and biscuits. There is a willow tree that hangs over the creek. The world has not fallen to pieces here yet, but Appalachia knows that time is long and lives are short. Appalachia knows that trees do not grow back the way they were ever. There is always a give and a take in nature, but here my mountain gives and you take. When will it end? Which will sing last, the bird, the saw, or the toxic pollution that takes over our world in the poorest places? So that no one looks until it is too late. I have a vision of myself years from now, but not that far away, laying down my life before my mountains, because they are the one thing I would die for. So that I have to be buried, at least I will lie in the right place. Washing bags for peace. My hands are indoor hands, hands that never have seen the sun, hands that never have felt the soil. But they are hands that can open doors. They are hands that can wear sunblock and brave it. They are hands that can dig deep. And here they are, my hands, typing a poem. Here they are, my hands, washing plastic bags for peace, dunking wool sweaters in water, hanging them out to the wind. Persimmons. I wish I was the frost, the first frost that comes over the garden, the second frost that sends persimmons to prunes. I wish I was the third frost that undresses the maple trees leaf by leaf until a quilt of blushing leaves shimmers on the ground. Coming of age. I tried to exit the scene of my birthplace nonchalantly, going off to college, living in the nation's capital city. I frantically dashed off here and there, flying off the handle, meticulously planning my exit, some combination of impulses and contemplation. My attempts were fruitless. I couldn't not escape the sad feeling in me. I came home a million times from long walks in the neighborhood, long rides in the car, lengthy attempts to leave the world I had known. Today I turn to where I am. I realize that I am in Bristol, in the house that I have lived most of my years. It is not just a house, though. It is home, and I am doing everything I've ever wanted. I am living in the land that is more connected to my soul than any place on earth. I am contributing to the world and leaving a legacy in my own way. And now, right now, I would be happily to be I would happily be content over happy. Today, though, I have both. Kinderhook. I went out to this sacred place by the Hoston River. Later, when I described it to Daddy, he said that it was Kinderhook area. I sat on this rocky snag that came across the river for a while, thinking I had been watched by Native Americans. I am not sure where the thought entered my head. Walking back to my car, I stopped to pick up 2 rocks, one for each child I babysit. I felt a rustle in the grasses that stood by the river, and I bent over. When I looked, it was just silent. Dream. Once I dreamed of a heron, a good omen of things to come, brothers, sisters passing from above. Now I lie in bed, launching morning doves into the atmosphere. I wake up at midnight, my aching knee healed, a dusting of snow on the ground, and while everywhere outside my frosty Tennessee windowsill. I sleep again at noon in the sky and dream of another set of birds. My family and friends, my emotional community are gathered around the window looking at the bird feeder. There perches the resplendent quetzal, a tropical bird from Central America that I have seen in the wild. Sustainable activism. I am a peace activist, an environmentalist, and a person with hope in my heart. I will always be all of these things. I have listened on Democracy Now! To Winter Soldiers this week, the 5th anniversary of the Iraq War. Yesterday I wrote the following. We are at war until the end of times. There is nothing that you or I can do about it. Muster up all you have, you're powerless. Once I looked at my friend Lyric, who was 18 at the time. I was 24. We were in a garden in early spring pulling weeds. I had just met Lyric that day, to be precise, and she started spouting off about going to give a talk on sustainable activism. My heart wrenched. I remembered the first day at Emory and Henry, told by 5 people that I could not keep my values and graduate, all in that day. Some of the people who told me this were and are my friends. They were trying to help me find a way to a gentler landing. Everyone in that college is not hopeless, I should mention. I myself have never had enough vim and vigor to maintain my high spirit and hope. But I looked at Lyric and saw this perfect reflection of myself at her age. I looked at her and I looked at myself and I realized I am different than I used to be. I always return to this time of my life in my mind, trying to figure out completely. It has always been hard to fathom. Am I growing hopeless with age, or is my age irrelevant? Then I thought of Felicia M. I was eating an orange and simultaneously thinking about how I should have not eat many more oranges in my life, with peak oil and the end of civilization. Democracy Now! Was blasting in the background. The orange, actually a tangerine, was fabulous. Once, Felicia said to me that it cheers her and her mother up to see me at the APEC peace vigils. It gives her hope. If it gives her hope, it is spreading hope, I concluded. There is a way to end war, perhaps even to prolong the consumption of tangerines and oranges in Tennessee. Hope is a choice. Happiness is not always, but hope is something that you can sustain in yourself. When you're at my age, or Lyric's age, or Ann Newland's age, we have hope. The thing about hope is it starts with a peace activist or a soldier who wants to come home. You usually cannot pour hope into someone else unless you are Felicia M. But you can actively do is breathe hope into yourself. Then you have enough. You can spread it to the world. At candlelight vigils, on a fantastic radio show, or a citrus fruit trucked in from the southern tip of Florida. Thank you for listening to Kintsugi Walnut. That has been the Cracked Nut, the third part of this series.